So I started doing hair at the age of 15 years old, making money. I really had been doing hair for a little bit before that, but I ain't started making money till I was about 15. And prior to that, my brother had grew his hair out. You know, he had seen crisscross. And some of y'all know crisscross from the 90s. Crisscross will make you jump. And he wanted his hair like that. And so that's what really begun my journey. A lot of people ask me, Essence, how did you get on the cover of Essence magazine? Well, your hairstyle, not me, but my hairstyle. How has your salon been open for 20 years? How have you been training hairstylists? How did you get started? And so a lot of people, they see the success, but they don't see the struggle. They don't see where it all got started. And so I feel like a lot of stylists who are in this position of, I'm really just trying to build my clientele. I'm just really trying to grow my following. I'm really just trying to make some money and be a full-time stylist. They don't understand all the struggles, and I shouldn't even say struggles to like make you feel that it's going to be like something that you can't overcome. But it is some things that you have to navigate, right? And so for me, I had the luxury of having a laundry room that my mom allowed me to operate out of. And so what happened was, after my brother had grew his hair out, he was my guinea pig, and I would braid his hair every week, every other week. And I just got my skills better and better every time I would do his hair. And I was able to grip really short hair back then. I don't want to do that anymore because I hurt my wrist. But I was able to grip really short hair, and so that gave me an advantage as a braider. And as his hair continued to grow, I got more and more skilled. And from there, one of my mom's friends came to her one day and was like, can China braid my son's hair? And so my mother was like, yeah, sure. Well, look, I said, yeah, but I didn't know that his texture was different. This child happened to be biracial, and his texture was super soft. It wasn't like my brother's hair. And so I ain't even gonna lie, it was a challenge for me, y'all. I didn't know this lady was gonna pay me. So this lady ended up paying me $15. Now, I know y'all might be like, Essence, what's $15? Well, for a 15-year-old in the 90s, listen, I ain't had my own money. So that was my first little piece of change, so I was happy about it. But the whole point of it is, I got started because I was very passionate about it. And I continued to put myself out there. I continued to challenge myself even when I didn't even know if it was something that I could do. And the rewards began to come. And later on, my mom seen that I was very serious about this. And so she allowed me to set up shop in our laundry room. Now, we had a decent sized laundry room, right? And so I had the ability to have like 3 waiting chairs in our laundry room, a chair for my client to get his hair done, a little setup behind the washer and dryer, and all my music and all my products and all the things. And then we had a side door that my clients could come in. And so I technically had a salon suite before there was a salon suite. And it was really fun. I was able to create my own environment as a teenager. I had all my high school friends coming through. And it was just something that I was able to really start to enterprise. And my father, y'all, now here it is. My father at the time started to see his daughter's like starting to make money. She's talented and all the things. Like he was paying attention, but he wasn't really paying attention. But when I started making money, he was like, what is going on? So I started telling him like how long it takes and how much money I was making. And at that time, I honestly, y'all, I was charging like $5-10. We talking, I'm 15, 16. I wasn't charging that much money. He was like, yo, what? He was like, nah, you need to go up to 20. And I remember thinking to myself, like, Daddy, you are tripping. Like, if I go up to $20, I am literally going to lose my clientele, right? And I think that what we don't recognize in business is that there's always going to be development. And from development, it's going to require you to grow as a stylist. And some of that growth is learning how to use your voice, right? Learning how to understand your value and communicate that. And a lot of stylists don't always know that. And so they struggle with this ability to, 1, know their value, know their worth, and 2, communicate that, right? And so I struggled with what my father said for, I don't even remember, like weeks, right? Because I thought my father was trying to kill my business. I ain't even gonna lie. And one day, he had talked to me so much. I was like, okay, my father can't be wrong. You know what I mean? And I guess I dealt with, I don't want to come off greedy, or maybe my clients can't afford this. And so anyway, I eventually went up on my prices. One of the things my father told me at that time, he was like, people who value what you have to bring to the table, they're gonna continue to come. right? They may not come as frequently, but if you're giving them a good service and you're doing their hair well, they're going to pay your prices, right? As long as it ain't out of control, right? So, nevertheless, I got started because I saw that I literally found a passion for this. And there are many of you right now that recognize that you are very passionate about this, and you maybe have went like a traditional route. You maybe have decided to do something that was considered safe, according to the standards of society. But entrepreneurship and being a hairstylist really is something that you can do, but you cannot allow yourself to be afraid that it's not going to work out. When you have an opportunity like I did myself to have a space and to have a place to do it, then it's about, are you going to invest the time? Are you going to reinvest in yourself? When I first started making money, I had to go and get some business cards. I had to take the money I was making and get some business cards, because before we talking about this is 90s. There's no cell phones, right? We had pagers. And so there was no some people had cell phones, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like how it is today. But there has to be a sacrifice in building your business. And I think that that's one of the biggest things that I find with a lot of stylists that are trying to grow and trying to come up is like they haven't counted up the cost. It's going to cost you time. It's going to cost you financially to invest in yourself. It may even cost you relationships for people who are not on the same path that you're on, and you recognize that I actually have to be disciplined. I actually have to be dedicated to this in order to see it grow. And so from my high school years, within those first few years, like there was a lot of learning and a lot of like, okay, I'm doing this, but it ain't exactly what I think it could be. And so I believe that you truly have to be dedicated to this. I was dedicated to it because I was passionate about it. If you're in this industry just to make a quick dollar, it's going to show, right? But if you know that you're passionate about it and you are dedicated to getting better at your skill set, there is nothing that will stop you. And so a lot of people, again, they ask me, how did I get started? And a lot of times I think it is about how I got started, but it's like, how did you keep going? And I want to ask you, what is it that's going to keep you going when it gets tough, when it doesn't look like it's going to materialize, when you only have a couple of clients, when you only have a couple of followers on Instagram or TikTok, when you're only making a couple of dollars? Like, what is going to be that driving force that's going to keep you going for your business to flourish? One thing I can tell you is I could have stopped in the 90s. I could have stopped when it got hard. But if I would have stopped, I would have never been in Essence Magazine. I would have never opened a salon. I would have never been traveling and training stylists. I would have never begun to get to this place where I can even speak to you. And so one thing I have to say to you is you have to commit. And there are so many stylists that are very talented, very creative. You like to do this. You like to do that. You could do this. And you want several streams of income. And I believe that several streams of income is something that you want to have at some point, but you got to lock into something first, right? You only got 100%. And from 100%, you can't be depositing 30 here, 40 here, and another 30 here. How are you ever going to see growth in the thing? What you have to do is say, if I'm going to do this hair thing, then I'm going to do this hair thing. And you're going to go all in. And so I hope that this video has inspired you to move forward in your dreams. If you believe that you're called to be a hairstylist, if you're very passionate about it, then I say go for it. But go for it with the intention that you are going to stay in this. And if you need any help as a stylist, whether you need help with your skill set, we do have an academy here in Phoenix, Arizona that you can attend. We also have housing as well. If you need business coaching and you're looking to increase your clientele by 20 to 30 clients in the next 90 days, I definitely want to be able to help you with that as well. And or if you just say, Essence, I want to be a part of your community, I want you to click the link below and get connected with us. And hopefully we'll see you soon. All right, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.